Hello, hello. Thank you for the raid, Conch. Hey, Red. See, I'm getting used to that. Right, apologies. Running a bit late. Don't blame me. Blame Conch. He was playing Roadhouse, and I fucking love that movie. I had to wait and hear say the polar bear fell on me. Sorry. So, yeah, running a bit, a couple of minutes late. Considering it's my first story back in a wee while, then surely I can be forgiven for that. Right, so, the usual. You're getting sick of me doing it, I'm getting sick of doing it, but I kind of need to do it or I'm going to get sued. Yeah, there we go. So, right. Quick reminder that this story is strictly for mature audiences only and is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18 or anyone with a nervous disposition. If you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please hit the follow button so that you can see whenever I go live. I normally go live Tuesdays and Thursday nights with different horror video games and Sunday nights storytime with Buck. Any previous stories that you might have missed are all uploaded onto my YouTube channel. I really need to get that linked. Obviously this is my first story back in a wee while, so I haven't updated that for a wee while, but this story along with every other story I've done is on there. But this one will be on here on Tuesday. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you're always notified when I do publish. I always publish on a Tuesday. Yep, on a Tuesday afternoon. Also, please feel free to share my videos with your friends, but if you are sharing them, please, I don't want to get sued, I can't afford it, please market them as being for over 18s only. Right, so without further ado, let's go on with the story. But before I do that, I'm actually going to fix my light because it is way too bright. That's better. It was so bright there. I had it up full to do my makeup and I completely forgot to put it back down. Oops. Right. Oh, and I'm dropping bits of paper everywhere. Oh my good God. Right. You can tell I've not done this in a while, so I'm so unprepared that it's unbelievable. Right. Now, so, this is me.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, Ollie. Thank you very much for asking. How are you? And welcome in. Right, so, as you may or may not be aware, me and Ginger Minnie were away for a week at London for the London Film and Comic Con. Now, the con itself is completely irrelevant to the story. The whole trip in general. Oh yeah, I'll be the back at 10 for you. I keep forgetting you're an hour ahead. The whole trip really is irrelevant to the story. But what is relevant is the journey home. On the journey home, it was an overnight coach back from London. It took 12 hours and there was a half-hour stop and bus change in between. That was in Birmingham after I think 3 hours we were on, then we switched buses. Now, I was struggling to sleep in the bus because it was overcrowded and it was too fucking warm. Well, it was like 40-degree heat. So, I did what I always do when I struggle to sleep. Put on my phone, sat and watch videos on Facebook, on YouTube, that kind of thing. Now, normally, when I can't sleep, I'll watch cooking videos, I'll watch makeup videos, that kind of thing. Something that I don't need to pay close attention to, but So, I mean, it's pretty normal stuff, really. 3 a.m, kind of sleep. Have a look at the Facebook reels. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does it. Cooking and makeup, because I like both subjects. Now, while I was watching a cooking video, I came across a very unusual story. Now, this girl, I want to say her name's Samantha Sue. She's Asian, she's very bubbly and upbeat, and she cooks. And she tells stories while she's cooking. And this particular story, it stood out to me. It was very unusual. And I knew that I needed to find out more about this. And if it was interesting, if it was as interesting as I thought it was going to be, then the plan was to cover it here on Storytime. As I do. That's how I find my stories. I get recommendations and I just find random stories at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep. Right, now, I know that I'm a few weeks behind on Storytime. For that I want to apologise. But, as always happens, unfortunately life sometimes gets in the way. Now, some things need to be put on hold when shit happens. Mainly, unfortunately, sitting, researching and writing, which, as you can imagine, takes up quite a lot of time. I normally like to put out one story a week, so that's a good 3-4 days of researching, getting all the information gathered together, and then a couple of days writing up my script. But I do have, so obviously that's had to take a back seat with everything else that's been happening with the travelling and whatnot. But, so I do have a few stories in the works that they're going to blow your mind. Blow mine. I'm not even going to pretend otherwise. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing real life supernatural stories. Now, I hope that you will find these as interesting as I do. They're going to cover everything supernatural related. I've not really touched on that yet. I mean, obviously I've done cannibals and yeah, seen me cover that a lot actually. Kind of weird, but hey ho. Apparently eating people's cells, so what can I say? But yeah, so I'm going to do the supernatural side of things, but it is all going to be true life, okay? None of it's made up. It's only real life. Okay, so yeah, that should be fun. But tonight's story, the one that stopped me in my tracks, stopped me working, stopped me researching. No, that can wait. This needs told. Now, for tonight's story, we are travelling to Asia. We're off to South Korea. That's the good Korea, people. Not North Korea, which is the bad Korea. We're going to South Korea, the good Korea. Now, we're going to the quiet southeastern industrial city, which is, I believe, 25 kilometres southeast of Seoul. I could be wrong in my distance, but it is southeast of Seoul. Now, we're going to the industrial city of Gummy. Now, must warn you, this isn't going to be a pleasant trip. In fact, it's rather heartbreaking. To the point that I was sitting on the bus home from London, hearing about this for the first time, and I cried. Okay, this is a heartbreaking story. There's no other way of putting it. So, be warned. So, our story begins with a teenage girl whose surname is all we've got. Only her surname has been released to the press. Now, her name is Kim. So, that's her surname, that's what we're going to call her. And so Kim, teenage girl, and after several miscarriages, Kim finally gives birth to a healthy baby girl, who she named Boram or Borami. But we're going to go with Borami because that seems to be the most common name out of the two that I'm getting. So, Borami. I'm saying Borami, but I believe it's actually pronounced Porami. From, again, what I can gather. Now, as you can imagine, Kim's mother, again, we only have surnames, we don't have anybody's first name, with the exception of Borami, the little girl. We have no other surnames. We have no first names, we only have surnames. So, Kim's mother, Seok, wasn't exactly thrilled with the life that her daughter had chosen for herself. Now, you can understand why. But Kim was determined to make things work. She married Borami's father, Hong, and set up an apartment above her parents. Hong was working and Kim spoilt her daughter. The little girl was always kitted out in the best clothes. She was well loved and well cared for. That, there's no doubt. There's plenty of evidence to support that. Kim was indeed proving her mother wrong. She was, in fact, a bloody good mother to little Borami. Now, things went pretty well for Hong, Kim and Borami for a couple of years. But at some point over the next couple of years, when Borami was about two and a half, Hong lost his job and the relationship between him and Kim soured. Kim became distant. Kim became quite distant, and Hong discovered several used pregnancy tests hidden in the cupboard, which he found weird as him and his wife weren't having sex at all anymore. Taking this as a sign that Kim was cheating, he knocked his ass right out of that relationship. He's gone. Like, you ain't doing me, but you're doing someone, so I'm out of here. And no one can really blame him for that. I mean, if it's a young lad, married, with a kid, and he suddenly finds out his wife's cheating, His only request was that Kim keep and look after little Borami until he was able to take full custody of her, i.e. he needed a job and a place to stay so that he could support his daughter. Kim agreed and continued to look after little Borami. So that was the deal. You keep her for just now, and after a while, once I'm settled, I'll come and I'll take her. And Kim's like, yep, fine, works for me. Now, over the next few months, Kim began seeing a man who was rather well off. She was telling everybody that he loved her and he loved Borami as his own, and that her and her daughter would be moving in with the man, and she wouldn't need to work because he was rich enough to provide a decent life for her and Borami. So she really had it made. Soon after, Kim announced that the couple were expecting a son. The pair got married, and Kim and Borami moved into his house, leaving the flat above her parents empty. The rent was paid up for another 6 months. This bit's important. So, the flat remained empty for the duration of the lease. It's like, right, the rent's paid. For the 6 months, we'll no bother putting on anybody in there. She's got a contract, we'll just let it run out. and then we'll take the property back. Because we don't care if she's not staying there or not. We've got our money, we're happy enough. So the flat sat empty for, the flat above our mum and dad's stayed empty for the remainder of the lease, which was in fact 6 months. Now, at the end of the lease, the property owner tried to contact Kim to officially end the lease, make sure she'd moved out and take possession back of the property. Again, pretty standard stuff. But he was never able to get a hold of her. So, he did the next best thing and he contacted Seok, her mother. Seok said that she still had keys for the flat and that she would go in, check everything was okay and let the owner know that what if anything was needing done and that he could come and take back possession of the property. So the next day, Seok went upstairs to her daughter's empty flat to just have a look around and make sure that she'd removed everything. Now, all personal items were removed, as was all the furniture. The power was off because the bill hadn't been paid, and there was no heating. The flat was freezing cold. This is February. No. Continuing there. I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to because I do touch upon it. So, the flat's freezing cold. There's no electric, no heating, nothing. But all personal items, all furniture, all clothing, everything's gone. So she has indeed vacated the property, she's just not paid her electric bill. Fair enough, she's not been living there for 6 months. Kim had definitely moved out. That was obvious. She only left behind 2 items when she left. 2. The first one was found, in the middle of the living room floor, there was a photo. One photo. And there was only one thing in that photo, and it was a picture of little Barami. Yeah. You ain't heard nothing yet, Conch. This blew my mind. So yeah, she left a picture, just one picture, of little Barami in the middle of the living room floor. And beside that picture were the mummified remains of little 3-year-old Barami. Hey, care. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I bet you never saw that coming. You ain't gonna see the rest coming either. Upon making the gruesome discovery, Seok did the normal thing and she phoned the police. As you would, finding your mummified granddaughter. The police attended the property. They tracked Kim down and they arrested her. Hong was also taken in for questioning, the little girl's father. Now, Hong would say that Kim was already pregnant to the new husband when the pair divorced, and that her disinterest in little Barami was one of the reasons the pair separated. That and him suspecting that she was having an affair, which evidently he was right about. She was screwing the new husband. He also repeated to the police that he had asked Kim to care for the little girl until he was able to provide for her. Hong was devastated at the loss of his little girl, and he was rightly cleared of any involvement in her death. So Hong knew that Kim was no longer interested in being a mum to little Barami, and he was going to take her. He was just waiting until he had a place to stay with the little girl, which is fair enough. She had an apartment, she had electric, she was food, everything else. He didn't. So, yeah, but he was cleared of any wrongdoing. Further investigation revealed that Kim had been neglecting Barami for quite some time. In May of 2020, she had failed to pay her electric bill for 5 consecutive months, and her supplier decided to cut her off. You no pay, we no supply. Simple. But she was cut off while she was still living there. And it wasn't until August of 2020 that Kim moved in with her new husband. Now, I just want to point something out here. I haven't actually mentioned it yet. Yes, this story does indeed take place 2020 to 2022. And in 2020, Kim was only 22 years old. That's a lot of 20s. Didn't you notice that when I was writing it? Now, before anybody says anything, right, so I know it's coming. I know I don't normally do recent stories. I'm making an exception for this case. But for a couple of reasons. First off, it's an interesting story. And secondly, the case is closed. Convictions have been made, people are in jail, and it is not an ongoing case. Kind of. As far as the death of little Barami is concerned, it has been closed. The case is closed. There are still some questions that need answered, but, like I said, as far as the death of this little girl, thank you. But yeah, as far as the death is concerned, it's case closed. Back to story. So, 3 months, Kim and Barami lived in that flat without power or heating. Heating, not so much an issue. It was the summer. But electricity is needed to cook. So I think it's safe to say that the poor little girl didn't really eat much at all during that time. In August, when Kim left to live with her new husband, she simply left her daughter behind in the flat to live on her own, where it is believed that she died of starvation. At least that's what we are being told, that the little girl died of starvation. Now, here's the thing. I don't think I believe that. I don't know if I believe that that little girl was alive when Kim moved in with her new husband. And I'll tell you why. Anyone can back me up on this. Anyone can back me up on this. Toddlers are noisy. Anyone that's spent 2 minutes with a small child will tell you the same. They are tiny human-shaped hurricanes that wreak havoc wherever they go. And now, that toddler was in that flat alone for around 6 months. Her grandparents lived downstairs. They never heard her. She would have been crying, she would have been screaming, she would have been running around, she would have been breaking things. No one heard her for 6 months. She never made a single noise. Sorry, but if that's the story that they're selling, then I'm not buying it. I believe that child was dead when her mother moved in with her new husband. That's simple. I've had children. They're noisy. Even when there's nothing wrong with them, they're noisy. So a child that is dying of starvation is going to be even noisier. When her body was found, decomposition had not fully happened, hence why she was mummified. Because of the electricity being cut off, resulting in extremely low temperatures in the flat. Now this was in the February that she was discovered. So that body had been in that flat without heating, without electric, for 6 months. And no one noticed a smell? Is that my phone gone? I don't know. So, yeah, apparently no one noticed. Yeah, very odd. Again, giving me reason to believe that the child wasn't alive. But we don't know. That's the official report. The child was left alone and died of starvation in the property. Now, remember I said that Kim was tracked down and arrested on child neglect charges. Now, you would be forgiven for thinking that would be case closed. Closed right there and then. We've got the mum left her, case closed. Because she left a small child alone in a flat for 6 months without food, causing the child to die of starvation. I mean, the paperwork writes itself. It's a pretty open shut case, right? Sorry, not quite. Why would I cover a simple story like that? I mean, yeah, a baby died at the hands of her mother. The one person in the world that she should have been able to trust. But unfortunately, cases like this happen every day. So, what makes this one so special? Why am I telling this story and not any of the others? Now, friends, I would love to say that the answer to that question was simple. But no. It is in fact a very interesting tale. And one without any real answers. Only speculation and theory. So stay with me because it's about to get weirder. I did promise I was coming back with a good one. Oh, wrong side. I keep forgetting my camera's inverted. God. Right, so don't know how much you know about forensic science or murder inquiry law. We've covered quite a bit here. We've learned a few things together in the last, what month are we in? We're in July? I've been doing this for 7 months now, and we've learned a lot together as a community. Our detective skills are certainly growing together as we do these stories. But in cases like this, right, especially where decomposition has happened, albeit not completely, but still, DNA testing is performed on the body for identification purposes. And this case was no different. the police wanted to make sure that the body that they found in the flat was indeed little Barami. Standard procedure. And on the 10th of March 2021, the DNA results came back, and they were strange. Yeah, I'm actually get quite an act for this. I never saw this one coming though. I'm one of the ones that I can start a book and then before I'm 5 pages in, can tell you the killer is. It's kind of a hobby. I was always too short to be in the police. That's why I became a bouncer. Or one of the many reasons. But yeah, stick to this. I don't think I could be a copper. I don't have the patience for it, to be fair. But so 10th of March 2021 results are in. And like I said, they were interesting. Kim and Hong were not the parents of Barami Hong. Hong wasn't even related to the little girl. You know, his daughter. Kim's father, Barami's grandfather, wasn't related to the little girl. Kim was related to her daughter, but she was not her mother, not her biological mother. She was in fact her biological half-sister. Barami's mother, her biological mother, turned out to be Seok, Kim's biological mother. So, as you can imagine, this through investigators. So they ran the tests again, 3 more times, 4 times in total. And each time it showed the same results. There was no doubt at all that Seok was Barami's mother and not her grandmother, like everyone believed. Weird, right? Trust me, it gets weirder. I promise. I do find the best stories. So, with this new information, the police brought Seok in for questioning, who still, to this day, is adamant that she is not the baby's mother. Kim is. Her official line is that the test is wrong. All 4 tests are wrong. She never gave birth to little Barami. Kim did. She's Barami's grandmother. Her husband is Barami's grandfather and Kim is Barami's mother, with Hong being Barami's father. So, police checked with local hospitals and found that Kim did give birth when she said she did. And she gave birth to a little girl at the same time as little Barami was born. That only leaves more questions. Where's the baby that Kim gave birth to? And why does Seok think that she can just deny being kid's mother. When the tests had proved that she has. Now, both women are now in prison as South Korea takes child neglect cases very seriously. Kim, I'm not going to answer that, Conch, because there's a bit more information to come with it. But the child, I'll go here. The child that Kim gave birth to, the little girl that Kim gave birth to, did live. She was alive at birth and she did live. Why does my camera keep freezing? It's my new camera as well. So apologies that the camera keeps going. I need to stop making some funny silly faces. It just looks weird now. But no, Kim did indeed have a live birth. What the hell? Where's my mouse? Where the hell is my mouse?